inductee, partner Bruce Parker has a little bit to say about this. He knows him fairly well. Bruce, tell us about Sonny Lubick.
Well, I could say use guys and see is. Sonny Lubick was the head football coach in 1979 when I was a graduate of Eastern Montana College, and he was on the committee, so I blame him for getting me in this business. But what a fine man Sonny Lubick is. He's been successful everywhere he's been. He won a national championship as an assistant for Sonny Holland at Montana State. He won a Big Sky championship in 1979. He went on to stints at Washington State, won 2 national titles as a part of Dennis Erickson's staff at the University of Miami, and then did amazing things at Colorado State University, where he led them to, I don't know, 10 conference titles, numerous bowl games. Sonny Holland can coach, and he's an even better person. And Sonny looks exactly the same that he did when I met him first in 1979. And he overcame one of the great decisions in college football history. He was an assistant coach at Miami, their biggest rival, Florida State, and his daughter Michelle decided to be a cheerleader at Florida State. So I always asked him, what did you do when Florida State played Miami? Where did Carol Jo sit, Sonny's wife? And he wouldn't tell me. But he said, the wide right game, I think she even cheered for her. So I got to say this, that Sonny Lubick, there's none a finer man. I think he's in every Hall of Fame between here and Colorado. The field is named after him, and he's an amazing person, and we're so happy to have him back here tonight to become inducted into the Montana NFL Hall of Fame. Sonny Lubick.
Through 15 seasons as CSU's head football coach, Sonny Lubick led the Rams to raise trophy after trophy as he not only coached, but genuinely mentored student athletes at CSU. And Lubick's leadership transcended the game. In changing the face of CSU football, Sonny Lubick helped change the perception of the entire university, statewide and across the country.
Sonny showed CSU how to win and be competitive at the highest levels. And in doing so, he helped us set a trajectory that continues to this day.
When he arrived, CSU hadn't won a conference championship in nearly 40 years and had only been to 2 bowl games in its history.
Hey, where the trophy? You about to get the trophy.
Over the next 15 seasons, Lubick's teams won outright or shared in 6 conference championships and played in 9 bowl games.
I'd like to congratulate Sonny Lubick for being inducted into the Montana Hall of Fame. Also would like to congratulate Carol Jo, Matt, Michelle, and the rest of the family, Mark, for this honor also. Sonny and I go back many years. We coached together at Montana State. We coached together at the University of Miami, and obviously his career at Colorado State was unbelievable. One of the greatest coaches that ever coached a game in the state of Montana. One of the greatest coaches that's ever coached a game, period. Congratulations, Sonny. I'm still doing it.
Standing here in Butte High Stadium, Bulldog Stadium, where it all began, and Sonny won a state championship here as the head coach in 1968. There are a lot of great coaches in this country, but Sonny, with his character, high moral values, his strength, his religion, his family, and his friends are the thing that has made him, Sonny, the coach, the person, the man, and the legend.
Come on up, John.
Thank you very much. I'm not going to be as good as those 2 young ladies and people before me were, but this is truly a terrific honor for me. I'm not supposed to be here. Can you hear me? There you go. Okay, takes a little while for a guy from Butte to figure it out, but that was just honor that I cherish hard because this is where it all started. Like everybody said, it started in Butte, Montana, and here I am back here again. But I have to tell you, I teach a class at Colorado State, the business school. After they fired me, they felt sorry for me and gave me a job in the business school. The dean did come over there, and so I teach a leadership class there. And damn if I wasn't speaking to the Otterbox leadership crew about 2 weeks ago, and this young lady came up and she was introduced, and she introduced about 6 or 7 speakers, and she says, here it says on this paper, our next speaker needs no introduction. And she said, I hope that's true, because I don't know who the heck he is. And so they can forget you fast. They can forget you fast. And the thing that made me got me excited when the first thing I came here last night, Sandra Popovich comes up and speaks to me. Those are the cherishing moments of my lifetime. Sandra Popovich comes up and she said, Sonny, you had me in 1968 in English. I said, damn, you made it in spite of that, huh? In spite of me having, yeah. She even told me the class we were teaching, teaching Macbeth. And I said, well, you're a heck of a lot smarter than I was. And that's, I just can't thank the people here for having me and my family back here. I have to say this, it's the first time probably in over 20 years, 25 years, that my entire family, we've been together. And I really, so this has to be a special moment for all of us. The fact that all 3 of our children were born and raised, born in Bozeman. Honor's great. Honored to go in with this class. Great group of guys. And I think what makes life so good is when you meet the people. You know, I always thought those victories were good. When you're coaching, they're pretty damn important, because I hate the damn press when you lose. But when you come back here and see the friendships and the old people I haven't seen, I want to say old people, but people I haven't seen in 35 years that come up to you, and it's a hug, it's a tear in the eye, it's something so damn special. And, you know, people always said that's about the friendships, the relationships along the way. And it really is. It really is. The victories, they always tell me, you won 9 of this, 10 of that, 6 of that. Who cares? It's those students that come up to me. There's another young lady over here that I had in, taught her Julius Caesar, sophomore at Butte. She came up to me. Those are things that are important. I looked on with this class being so great, and just honored to be with you guys. And John Borchert, I took over, I think it was 78. You were there. I think that's why I took the job. You and Mike McLeod were on the team, both you guys. I said, hell, no matter how bad I screw it up, we should win a couple games. And they were good. John Borchert was my first, and Mike McLeod were the first captains I had as a college football coach. Again, thank the committee for having me here. And I know we're all on the clock here because we want to get out of here before midnight. I could tell you story after story, but it's one thing we all know in this room, and everybody being inducted and everybody who has been inducted, you don't go it alone. You need help, you need encouragement, people sacrifice for you, and it never has been about me. I really kind of feel that there were times I thought I was pretty good, but you learn in football, as soon as you start thinking you're pretty good, you get kicked in the rear end and you're back down. And so it's never been about me, and I'm just blessed. I'm a blessed guy to be up here, coached. I'm still coaching. Started, you guys figure it out. Some of you are, all of you in here are smarter than me. Started my first coaching day in 1960. In 1960, I started coaching at Beatty, Nevada, 38 students in the high school. 38 students, and I was the English teacher. We had some other guy who was a science teacher, and I'll never forget my first job. I was so excited. I got there the first day. We didn't have preseason. We couldn't have a football team. I coached the girls. I coached the girls basketball, the boys basketball, and drove the school bus. But I remember the first day I was there, I got in there early, and I'm in this little cinder block office in the back there behind the gym. And I just built a new gym, and I'm sitting in there, and I hear a knock on the door, so I hustle behind the desk. The room wasn't as big as the stage. My office was not as big as the stage, and I sit down behind the middle desk, grab the phone, and start talking. And come on in. I'm saying, I'm important. You know, I got to do this. I'm going to Las Vegas next week to a coaching clinic. I got to go here. And I'm on the phone. I say, I don't think I can see you. Help you out until spring. And I hung up the phone. I asked the guy in front of me. I said, yeah, sir, can I help you? He said, yeah, I'm the repairman. I came to hook up that phone. So, yeah. So you better be yourself there. But at this time, I'd like to introduce my family. And if they would stand, it's Carol Jo. She's been mentioned already. I think I always we got married, I think it was the 18th of April, but her birthday's on the 24th of April. Sometimes I get them confused. But she's okay with that. But she has been my wife for 49 years. And we're so... She has been the glue. I'm kind of watching because I'll get carried away here. She has been the glue. You hear that all the time, but it's true. They're the ones that do it. As soon as you start thinking you're pretty good, they can put you down. They tell you the truth. Anyway, instead, I just so couldn't have done anything without Carol Jo always by your side, always there. She'd always get nervous about the bad sports articles that were going to come out after a loss. She was always worried about that. And I was too, but I didn't show it that much. But she did everything that one could do, and she always put everybody first. I have my 3 children here. Matt, if you would stand up. Matt has accomplished more than I ever had. He's 25 years of college football. Coached in 2 or 3 national championships, just finished his career with the University of Washington, and been with Oregon State all over the country, in the Southeast Conference in Mississippi, and just so proud of all the things that he has accomplished, everything he has done. And my daughter, Michelle, who might be the most competitive. I think anybody who has children, boys and girls, Michelle is the toughest of the whole bunch of them. But Michelle is here also. It's the first time, as I said, we've all been together, and she runs a cancer foundation in Fort Collins. In the last 8 years, she has raised over, basically herself, $3 million for cancer patients, giving scholarships to students who have affected with cancer, go to Colorado State, and people throughout northern Colorado who cannot make their car payments, their rent payments, and she runs that. And we're all so darn proud of her and everything that she has done. And then we have Mark is here. He came the furthest. He has. He's already, here he is, the young kid in the park, as I call him. He has already got his Super Bowl ring with the Denver Broncos, or with Coach Bill Kohler, who was here, who was a great friend of ours, and a great friend. I've known him since the days at Montana State, and I was fortunate enough to be there at the Super Bowl 50 when the Broncos won that a few years ago. And I guess they've done more, accomplished more, and everything that the father could be excited about is right there with Carol Jo, Michelle, and Mark. And then I have also my sister-in-law, Beth, her husband Rick, and her son Jimmy. And if you want people who care and give to people and do everything they can, they do everything they can. They live in Helena, Montana, and they are always giving to other people, and they've been so supportive, never miss a ball game, always watch it on TV, whatever. So again, happy for them, and want to just tell you quickly here, I know I hate to have to talk this quickly, but I came along at the right time. Butte Central High School, graduated there in 1955. High school coach was Jim Sweeney. And when I'm saying I came along at the right time, you listen to the guys who mentored me, who meant so much to me and made me go. I played football there after going to Western Montana and school there. I came back, ended up back at Butte High and coached under Sam Jankovic. He hired me at Butte High. He was all heart. And we still stay close to this day. I coached the freshman team for zero, no money. They couldn't afford it, but I just enjoyed doing it. That was back in the early '60s, and he's become a great mentor and a friend of mine through all this time. In fact, one of the guys told me, Sonny, when I was coaching at Butte High, one of the principal would come up. He said, "You never have any problem with the parents." He said, "I wondered why is that?" I said, "I got great managers. Before every game I hit basketball, I was assistant coach in basketball. I had the manager go out and look to see whose parents were there, and then I'd come in and tell you guys are starting. Your parents were there." And I kept them all happy. So that's a true one. But again, after my Butte High School coaching, 10 years there, I moved up, I said, with Coach, helped Bob Ray as a coach there. He was crippled. I was his assistant coach. I could wheel him along in his wheelchair, and we had some great times. And Bill Cambridge, and then I went from there. And I know that the guy who was most instrumental in me getting to Montana State was Sonny Holland. He's here, and what a friend he has been for the rest of for our days. I knew him when he played at Butte High School as an All-American at Montana State, or an All-Stater at Butte High, All-American, and he helped me and actually lived kind of about less than a block away. Tell you what kind of a guy he is. He's the head football coach. I'm assistant coach. I don't know anything, but the city came by and says you have to have a sidewalk. We didn't have sidewalks in front of our house, but Coach Holland, he's the great carpenter. He and Cliff Heisel come in, dug out the trenches, did everything. I still remember that. Put the sidewalk in our house, and the city engineer come by. He said, "Man, that's right up to grade." I didn't do one darn thing. But Sonny, his wife, Deanna, Heidi, Wendy, Heidi, and Jody just been friends of ours for all this time, and I would never be anywhere without your help. And I see Bill Kohler back there. I kind of got this light in my eye. And the one thing about when we recruited Bill Kohler from Ohio, I think Warren, Ohio, if I'm not mistaken, everybody, he turned out to be one hell of a player, one of the best ever. We all took credit for recruiting him. But I didn't have nothing, but I think I know who did. Of course, Sonny was a major part, but Joe Tiller. And I talked to Joe Tiller less than a week before he passed away. And he said, and we were rivals because I coached with him at Montana State on Holland's staff, Sonny's staff, and he told me he loved me. And 2 days later, he passed away. And I didn't know we were that close, but because we competed like hell, Colorado State and Wyoming. But so anyway, my career continued on after Montana State. I went to CSU as an assistant coach, and then after that went to Stanford, played for Jack Elway, another terrific person, helped me in every way, just a wonderful guy. After that, Dennis hired me at the University of Miami. We had players we didn't even know. He went in there. I thought I looked at some of the players, a kid by the name of Bernard Clark. I said, geez, he must be a tackle. He was a defensive back. He was big and fast. I said, hell, we just can't screw this thing up. And but we had great players, and Dennis put it all together. He let you coach. Sonny let you coach. Here, it's your job. Go ahead and do it. And so after 50 years, of coaching with great coaches who thank you so much. I just can't thank you enough. For everybody in this room is a part of it, because even the Grizz people, you are the ones that made us good. You helped us. Competition. We made each other better, and I know a lot of my not my 1976 team, but Sonny's national championship team. A lot of those guys are here. Thank you. That was a great ride and a great time, and 50 years still coaching. 50 years actually on the field, still doing it. 10 years later. They haven't fired me yet. They're looking for me. I got 3 offices in Fort Collins. They don't know which one I'm at, and so they can't catch me. But one of the persons said, "What about faith? Do you have faith?" I said, "Do I? You bet I do. Every time CU was marching that ball inside our 20, I was praying, dear God, get us out of this one, and I'll never do it again." Thank you. Thank you to the hall, and best wishes to you.